if you're a parent and you're not yet using ChatGPT, this is your sign to start. Look, I also had no idea how AI can be helpful for me as a mom. Does it change diapers? Nope. But it can be your free personal assistant that can execute your tasks in seconds, saving you so much precious time. So here are the 10 ChatGPT life hacks that surprised me as a parent. So the first thing I start using it for is gentle parenting situation management, and I do follow multiple gentle parenting accounts, but oftentimes in the moment I do not remember the algorithm I need to implement when, let's say, my youngest hits my oldest, or when my oldest hits me. Instead of going to Instagram to find that post that I read 3 weeks ago that would be helpful for this situation, I just ask ChatGPT. The other day I had to ask it to give me the algorithm of what to do when my children just can't stop potty talk. I added that specification that I want this advice to be based on gentle parenting approach. The answer really satisfied me because it gave me exact phrases. You can ask it for medical advice to a certain extent, like in case your child has a high fever and you don't know if you need to take them to ER, and if your child asks a tricky question. It also helps you to step back for a second and don't brush it off. For example, when it comes to sex, most of us did not get to talk with our parents about these things. There are age-appropriate answers to these tricky questions, and you can just quickly ask ChatGPT to come up with an answer for a 4-year-old who asks what sex is, for example. It's much faster and much better than just Googling these things. That's the whole point, saving time in getting exact answers tailored to your particular situation. Next amazing thing that surprised me with ChatGPT is its ability to come up with plans. Any plans. Meal plans, how to be fit in 2 weeks plans, how to gently wean a co-sleeping breastfeeding 2-year-old toddler in a week. For example, my husband mentions that he'd like to eat more Mediterranean style dishes because supposedly it's healthier and we all like it. And it takes literally a couple of seconds for ChatGPT to come up with a weekly meal plan for you for each meal and each day with Mediterranean style dishes. Next step, you ask it to make a grocery list for you and it comes up with it so fast. It's fascinating, and it categorizes everything, and then you can quickly just copy it and go through it. Then I decided to challenge it a little and asked it to make a step-by-step, day-by-day plan of weaning a co-sleeping 2-year-old toddler gently, following Dr. Gordon's technique. That's the technique I used to wean my breastfed babies, and it did a pretty great job. And you can take any of these things that it comes up for you with and customize it for you, of course. Also solids. It can come up with day-by-day plan of introducing solids with lots of examples, and you can specify the country you live in or which kind of diet you'd like. You can also ask ChatGPT to come up with a cleaning schedule for your home. You just tell it how many bedrooms you have, what you'd like to be more concentrated on this week, and it will break down chores for you for every day for your busy schedule. You can even ask it to assign roles to all of your household members, and with any answers you can just ask it to be more specific, or you can even point out that something was wrong with what it told you and it will learn from that. So basically it's like a person. It remembers what you just asked for, and then you can have that conversation getting more and more answers or more and more details on whatever it came up with for you. Talking about planning, there are a couple of more things that when I realized ChatGPT can do for me, I was like, oh, why haven't you used it before? So trip planning. And I'm not telling you that ChatGPT is your last resource and just do what it tells you, but it certainly saves that Googling time and that mental space by giving you like a general outline of how your trip can look like much faster than you going to Google and finding all this out by yourself. Also, packing lists. Wow, this is something I am lacking every time. ChatGPT comes up with like essentials in your packing list. You tell them how many kids you have, how many adults, how many days you're going for, and where, and it comes up with a very good like baseline checklist of things you need to bring, which you can print out or, you know, put in your notes. Now, something funny that I asked ChatGPT recently is related to meal planning and what can I cook with certain ingredients that I have in my fridge, which is also extremely helpful. Again, much faster than just googling these things and researching by yourself. As some of you know, my husband is from Peru, so the other day I had only a few certain ingredients I wanted to use for a meal. So I asked ChatGPT, what can I cook with pork, rice, butter and peas for Peruvian to like it? And it came up with such a good answer and a detailed recipe in seconds. Ready for one of my favorite parenting life hacks for ChatGPT? It can create original content for anything, including bedtime stories. My oldest loves bedtime stories, and the books we have are not enough, and she likes for me to come up with some original content, but at 9 p.m. I'm not very creative, and ChatGPT can come up with original bedtime story with whatever character my daughter wants it to be with, Paw Patrol, let's say, in seconds. You can ask to translate to any other language, which we speak multiple languages at home, so that's very handy as well. I even tried to ask it to create a bedtime story Ukrainian style, and it was really funny to see what it came up with. It was pretty good. And besides that, it can write absolutely anything or give you like a template or suggestion for anything, like teacher's note or birthday wishes or like excuse for school. It can learn to write in your style or anyone else's style. You can even assign to it personalities and use these different personalities to even ask questions and create content, and that would be different answers and different content, which is like a little mind-blowing over there. I haven't assigned a personality to it yet. It's still a little intimidating to me. Long-term, using it often can really help you avoid getting that mental fatigue and just reducing your mental load. Next surprising ChatGPT life hack is to ask to come up with certain activities for certain age of kids at given weather. It will tailor these activities to your children's ages. So I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. I don't have to like Google separate activities for them and then think about, can my 2-year-old do this activity, or will my 4-year-old will be bored with this activity? ChatGPT will give you instant answers for what are these activities. So on this particular given day, weather or circumstances, both of your kids can do, again, in seconds. Another ChatGPT life hack parents should know about as well is this feature that it can summarize for you anything pretty much. So there is a Chrome extension, ChatGPT summary for Chrome OpenAI, and then if you have an article you need to read through and you don't have time for that, you just click there and it summarizes it for you really quickly in a few sweet sentences. You can also ask it to summarize huge amounts of text. You copy the text, all of it, and you type out in ChatGPT TLDR, too long didn't read, and ask it to summarize this text in a few sentences. If you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in this one.